Hey guys, what's going on? So for the longest time, I've been a PC gamer who has sat at a desk with a chair, with a monitor, but what I really want is to be able to come home, sit on the couch, grab a controller and just play something a bit more casual. Are you watching this? That was epic. That's going to be good footage. Now, before going down the path of building a gaming PC, which I've got behind me, I actually did try an Xbox One S, which I paid for with my own money for about 500 bucks. And even though it's only focused at 1440p and I've got a 4K monitor, or a 4K TV, I should say, the gaming experience wasn't that great. The Game Pass, the library didn't have the games that I necessarily play, that I wanted to play when I'm in the living room with friends over and whatnot. I also didn't like the fact that I couldn't use my third-party controllers from 8-bit, and the actual menu systems for when you're watching like Netflix or Disney Plus wasn't that good either. Like, you can't even adjust the volume with the controller, which I thought was a little bit of a missed opportunity. I think other people have mentioned this on Reddit and stuff as well. So I was happy to sort of pack up the Xbox, send it to Microsoft to get my refund and put that money towards a gaming PC. Now, because this project is focused on building a budget home theater gaming PC, I didn't want to spend too much money. I wanted to spend around about $1,000 because you can get really good performance for that money. So for the CPU, you'll be quite surprised. And I mean, to be honest, going into this project, I was a little bit nervous on how it would perform, but we've got an Intel i3 12100F, so that's 4 cores, hyper-threaded, so 8 threads at about 4.2 gigahertz. Then the GPU, we've got an Intel Arc. I've actually never used an Intel GPU, so it's the Intel Arc A750 limited edition. And then the motherboard is just basically the cheapest micro ATX board that would support Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so it's the MSI H610G Wi-Fi DDR4, and those 3 parts I paid for. And then I was actually contacted by XPG, which is like the gaming division of ADATA, and they wanted to send over some parts to make it possible as well. So they've sent over their a 16 gigabyte DDR4 kit, the XPG Gamix D35 at 3200 megahertz, the ADATA Legend 1 terabyte SSD, so that's the ADATA Legend 800. We've got the XPG Valor Mesh case, which is a mid-tower case with 3 fans at the front, 1 at the back, all pre-installed. And then we've got the Kyber 750 watt power supply. And if you were to go and basically buy all of this yourself, the CPU, motherboard, GPU, and all of the parts from XPG, for what I've got behind me, or over there I should say, you're looking at about 1,050 Australian dollars. And then you add on maybe a wireless keyboard and mouse so you can use it from the couch for another 30 bucks, $1,080 all in. And then, you know, maybe a Windows key for $10, or you don't even need a Windows key if you don't want to. I think you're going to be really surprised with how much performance you can get compared to like maybe an Xbox One X or a PS5, and just how many more things you can actually do with it. So let's go back in time for a second. I'll show you guys how I got this PC built. We'll take it out to the lounge room, we'll plug it in, I'll show you how the configuration works with Dolby Atmos, and then we'll see how the performance goes in games like Tekken, maybe Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe F1, and a few others, and share with you the temps and just what the overall experience has been like, because I think you guys will be very, very impressed. I hope. Now, just to give you a bit of an understanding on the, I guess, little mini home theater situation that we've got going on in the apartment that we're renting, so I can't go too crazy. We've got the Sonos Beam Gen 2 down here. Then we've got the Sub Mini. I don't know if that's Gen 2 or Gen 3 or just the Sub Mini down there as well. Then for the surrounds, we've got a 1 SL just there on the right, and then another 1 SL there on the left. So pretty decent little Dolby Atmos setup. And then for the TV, it's an LG 65-inch OLED. I think it's the C1. And overall, like considering that we're renting and we don't have a huge amount of space that we need to fill, it's a pretty substantial surround setup that I'm very happy with, that didn't actually cost us too much money. Now, to get this PC set up and configured for Dolby Atmos to work with my Sonos surround sound, you don't actually need to do too much. The first thing you need to do in Windows 11 is to go into the Microsoft Store and search and download the Dolby Access software. Once you've got that software installed, you want to go ahead and open it up and you'll get this screen here. Once you're on this screen, you want to actually go to the right hand side and click skip, and you want to click products up in the top here on that middle tab, and then select the home theater icon, and then basically turn on the channel up mixer, and you should get a green tick to say ready to use. Once you've done that, then you want to go into the Windows sound settings. So if you type in sounds in your start menu, you'll get the old school control panel. That's what you want to get, and go to playback. Once you're on playback, you've got your TV, obviously you've got your Sonos or your surround sound going through HDMI on the GPU. So we're going to right click on that and we're going to go to configure. When you press configure, you should see a couple options here, and the one that we want is Dolby Atmos for home theater. Once you've done that, go ahead and go down, press next. Optional speakers, turn them all on. Go ahead next, turn on the full range speakers, front, left, and surround. This just increases the frequency and the bandwidth for those speakers. Go next again, press finish, press OK, and that is pretty much it. So everything that you play now through your PC is going to be in Dolby Atmos. So here we are, Mad Max Fury Road from 2015, one of my all-time favorite movies that has Dolby Atmos with a really amazing surround sound experience. And if we get my phone here and we put it in front with the Sonos app, and I'll try and get it in focus here, but you should be able to see the Dolby Atmos text appear on the phone, just like that, just proving my point that this little PC for only $1,000 can literally do it all, and that includes playing content with Dolby Atmos, which is just pretty insane. So here we are playing Hogwarts Legacy. We've got it running at 4K medium settings with Intel upscaling. We're using the performance mode and we're getting around about 70 frames a second, which I think is absolutely fine on a game like this, which is more focused on the story. It's not like a first-person shooter or anything competitive. And considering we've got a TV that can do variable refresh rate, where there's going to be no screen tearing or anything like that, this is going to be perfectly acceptable, and I think still better than buying a PS5 or an Xbox One S or a One X. And again, you can just do so much more with a PC, I think, than any of those consoles. Alrighty, so this time we're running Forza Horizon. This is 4K, medium settings, no upscaling, Dolby Atmos, full surround sound, and we're getting, you can see up in the corner there, almost 100 frames a second. And I mean, I wouldn't obviously sit this close to the TV, but this game looks absolutely awesome, I think. And again, remembering that this is an i3 CPU, Arc A750 graphics card, like nothing high-end or crazy about this PC at all. And it performs really, really well. And if I just want to come home and play something casual, I'm still going to get really good frame rates, even on something like this, which is not super demanding, but you're still going to get really respectable performance. And, with a PC like this, you can always upgrade the parts later on. You definitely can't do that with an Xbox or a PlayStation. So I'm really happy with just how this PC is performing. So what we'll do now is switch to maybe a more recent game like Helldivers 2 and see how that performs. Alrighty, so Helldivers 2, we're now running this at 1440p, low settings, no upscaling, and we're getting a respectable 70, 75 frames a second, depending on, the scene, but This is a really, I guess, demanding AAA title that's recently just come out, running this on Intel graphics, GPU sitting at 71 degrees Celsius, CPU 68 degrees Celsius, and I've got the fans on these all tuned to be pretty much as quiet as they possibly can. So considering that this is a fairly demanding game that's only recently come out, that's able to run on Intel Arc graphics, and you got your full Dolby Atmos surround sound configuration going on. I can barely hear this PC, and I know that this is a more competitive game that you would maybe play with a keyboard and mouse and a monitor and maybe a bit more of a powerful system. But if you wanted to give a game like this a go with your friends when they come over and you're going to sit on the couch, I think this is going to be perfectly acceptable and definitely, I think, a better experience than a console. On an Xbox, maybe you'll get a little bit better experience on maybe like a PS5 where it's a little bit more optimized and tuned for that hardware. But still, overall, I'm actually really happy with the outcome and how this is all going. Now, getting off the subject of watching movies and gaming for a second, if you did want to maybe do something a little bit more demanding with this P, maybe you wanted to edit video, maybe for YouTube or something, the SSD in this PC, the Legend 800 from ADATA, 1 terabyte of storage for about $100, performs pretty well. You're getting about 3,200 megabytes sequential on the read and 2,500 megabytes on the write, and it's only a little bit off what they advertise on the packet by about 5%. And you got to remember that this drive has about 700 gigabytes of data already on it, which is probably impacting the performance a little bit. But if you did want to take this PC from the living room, put it in the office or the study to do some other work or whatever it might be, this PC is still a really good all-rounder, and it will perform gaming wise very well, watching movies of course, but then if you want to go video editing, photo editing, or productivity, the drive is going to be able to keep up with that, which is a really, I guess, nice little bonus. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Big shout out and thank you to XPG/ADATA for sending over the case, power supply, RAM and SSD to make this PC possible, because personally I'm really happy with how this turned out. It will definitely be staying in the living room for a long time, and for $1,000 ticks pretty much every single box that I wanted it to do. So if you have any questions about the build or the surround sound system or anything else, hit me up in the comment section. Links to everything will be down in the video description of course as well. Would love to hear back from you guys though. What do you guys think of this PC? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to chuck it a like, get subscribed, and if you like other budget things, maybe go and check out a recent cheap keyboard that I checked out from a company called Aula, the F75. Really good keyboard, only costs about $100, and you guys seem to be loving it. So that's all from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.